Hey, what's the crack? How's it going? You're all very welcome to Buckshot, episode 93 for Friday the 11th of the 1st, 2019. We made it, lads. Week 1, down. How are you holding up? Was there depression? Was there fucking upsetness? What was there throughout the week? Or did you just fucking plough on? Plough on regardless. Is your job one of them ones, is it? Where you can just go, fuck it. I can phone this one in. It'll be grand for the fucking week. Or was it just pure hell on earth? Was it skint? Big fat arse? Yeah. Listen, I've been in the boat. I know exactly what you're talking about. Fair fucking play to you. But look we have a podcast to get us through the weekend. Weekend full of rugby and drink, hopefully for... I don't think anybody I've spoken to hasn't done dry January anyway. Fair, yeah, fuck it. It's up to you. Unless you did the absolute fucking dog in it and you medically need a detox. Fuck it. Yeah, alright. Good shit, funny shit happened this week, but sure, we'll talk about that on the Ramble Pod. You're all very welcome if it's your first time. Sure, hit subscribe, see what's the worst that can happen. Hit subscribe, see what happens. You get 2 podcasts a week out of this. Ramble Pod on Tuesdays, and Fridays you get the old Buckshot with an interview. Huh? Sure, who could ask for more? I can tell you who could ask for more. The Patreons. That's who could ask. Did you see that for a segue, lads? I tell you one thing. You have to be years at this crack. At stand-up and whatnot. To get segues like that, I can tell you one thing. Teach Tuberty or Jimmy Fallon or fuckers a thing or two about segues. That's a segue. Pointing it out now is highly unprofessional, like I just did. But sure, we're all learning together, lads. This is great. The Patreons. Surely, by God, unless you've been living under a rock, you have heard of Patreon at this stage. It's a podcast. They say it's for artists. It's really for podcasters. Those are the only people I know that I can see is using the thing. It helps. It helps pay for the podcast. That's what it essentially does. Paying this gorgeous new microphone that you can hear is direct result of the Patreons, and for that, to wet the Patreon's beak, they get the exclusive back catalogue of the Tom and Jerry show. And in a couple of weeks' time, when that runs out, I will be doing ones exclusively for the Patreons. If you haven't, I'm going to put up one of the Tom and Jerry's show just as a taste to see what it's talking about. I mean, the Christmas one was the Christmas one, but I'll put up, have a listen. If you like that sort of fucking 2 bollocks is basically just giving out shit about the world, that's essentially what you're dealing with. McBride, look, he's a comedic genius. He's one of the head writers for Waterford Whispers, so you don't need to know much more. Also, the Tea Republic shop is there if you want to have an Algander. I'll put both these links in the description. Have a go. It'd be great if you could throw a couple of dollars at it. It does help. You know what I mean? We got a couple of new ones this week. Fair play to you. Thank you very, very much. Any contribution all goes, and quite literally, it's buying the gear. You become the producers of the fucking thing. So that's essentially it. You buy the new gear for it. So you can pat yourselves on the back if this is sounding better. I can only apologise for myself if I'm being a total gobshite. But the brain is starting to come back online. Gigs coming up. I had a few people on to me about the Caveman, which I kind of spoke about last week, which is the new play. Well, it's not a new play, it's a long-running play. It's the longest-running solo play in Broadway and Vegas history. It's coming to Ireland, and I'm going to be the new Caveman, the Irish Caveman. And it will be touring in the autumn. I don't know. I'll have a full list soon enough of the theatres. It's up to the theatres, basically, and what date they can slot it in. And it's up to them when tickets go on sale. I'll put the tickets up through the old website and all the rest of it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'll keep you updated. It'll be coming to a town near you, essentially. From what I can tell, a lot of theatres have taken it on. Some are dragging their ass on it. I don't know. It could be I don't know. Is it the booking agent? I don't. Listen, that side of things, this show has nothing to do with me in the way I'm just showing up and doing it. As far as booking it, I'll be there to do all the promotions with radio and TV and all that shit, and I'll be telling you all about it. But look, it's out of my hands, that side of things. But as far as comedy gigs coming up, obviously the private ones just come. I'm doing a couple of those bingo locos. They're fucking mental. Was I telling you about them? Lads, if you haven't been to one, go to one. Holy Jesus Christ, it's just off the chain. I can't fully explain it, but you'll know when you walk in the door. It's like, okay, this shit is absolutely lepping. It's the maddest thing I've ever been involved in. Doing one tonight in Bar 22, I think. I'm doing a couple. I don't know if they're private. I'll tell you on Tuesday, because I'm doing a couple over the next few weeks there. I'll tell you if they're private coming up. If they're not private, fucking get on down. You won't be sorry. I've never seen people to go as mad as they do at these things. It's just, it's fucking bananas. It's absolutely bananas. So they seem like great crack. But aside from that, next week I'm headlining the Cherry Comedy Club in Whelan's, which they've I'm guessing it's sold out at this. It was sold out pretty quick anyway. But then they stuck Ardlo Hanlon on the bill with me. So Father Ted fame. So we'll see if we can get chatting to Ardlo. I don't know if I've met him before. See if he'll come on the podcast. And then that is next Monday. Like I said, it may be sold out. There's a couple of more in the pipeline, kind of stuck in around this, but the ones that I can think have written down here: Chaplin's Comedy Club. I'll be headlining on the 26th of January. 28th, I'll be in the Comedy Shed. 29th, I'll be in the University Concert Hall in Limerick. Then in February 16th, I'll be in City Limits in Cork. And February 26th, I'll be back in the University Concert Hall with two lads from Father Ted, Joe Rooney and Pat McDonnell. And that one, the first one in University Concert Hall in Limerick, again, that's in January 29th. I'm there with Dave McSavage and John Cleary, friends of the podcast. And I'm there for the next 4 months at their last Tuesday. But there'll be more gigs, look, to be telling you about. Don't be worrying about that. Like I said, have a gander if you fancy a go at some of the Tom and Jerry show stuff, and ad-free versions of this will be put up on the Patreon page, so that's what you get exclusively. There'll be other stuff coming down the line. I'm starting to put together a few bits and pieces that I need to work out how to do, because there's every dickhead on YouTube will want to tell you how to do a thing, but how to actually get to do it, yeah, I need to figure that out for myself. And that's about this. I was just looking at it there. Dancing with the Stars is back on Ireland, Irish TV at the minute. I must have had more Dancing with the Stars people, and Strictly, like than any other podcast going. And it's as if who knew I'd be noted for that, between Aidan O'Mahony, who won it, year one, Dale Cronin, Catherine Lynch, who else have I had on it? Fred Cook, who's now on it. I had Sean Walsh, who was on the Strictly one. Jesus Christ. It's quite a dancey podcast, it would seem. Go back and have a listen to them ones if you're a Dance with the Stars kind of person and you haven't listened to the back catalogue. There's 90 odd other fucking episodes along with the Ramble Pods. We're into the 120s at this stage of episodes to have a gander. So if it's your first time listen, fucking binge, lads. Binge, go for it. You'll probably be swearing more in your everyday life after listening to this, but you look at that's the way it rolls. Anyway, moving on to today's guest, Danny Murray. He's I've known Danny, we go back as far as you can go back in comedy. Since the first gigs of gigging in Dublin, this chap was doing comedy. He's one of the soundest skins you'll ever fucking meet. I couldn't have run into a sounder bloke. And we did a gig in Killiney, which is you know what, my brain needed a soft landing after being in Panto World, and he was the man to do it, because he's just one of those lovely people to just chat to. It's made it very easy. But we recorded in my car, because as we found out, the car is actually quite a good soundproof room. But we recorded in the car park of a gig we did in the Graduate Bar in Killiney. So just as a little kind of homage to that, we were out. Well, fucking homage. It was a handy place to meet and have a coffee or whatever. But we met there. To give you a context, Danny he doesn't do stand-up anymore, but he is one half of the What's the Story podcast with Graham Merrigan. And I think they had a bit of a falling out. So now the books are balanced, because Graham was on, obviously, back in, was it October or November? Graham was on. So I had to balance the books. Danny is back on. The two boys, they'll probably be round about this on Sunday. But sure, look at who was the better guest. I'm not saying. One was. Do you know what? Neither one was better. The two lads were completely different podcasts. Danny's one of those. We got in a bit of rugby, because Danny never gets to talk about rugby on his own podcast because Graham hates it. So we got in a bit of rugby chat and all the rest of it. We had just a good old natter. And it was very easy going on my brain. So do you know what? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the very wonderful Danny Murray.
We see something class.
I know, that's kind of half the reason why I fucking parked out here. And that's what a lovely start to the podcast.
Straight in, no kiss
straight in.
Tom.
Do you know why? And also, I think this is poignant, Danny Murray, that we are outside the Graduate.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Because we done a gig
We
here
did a gig
a
there,
number of
yeah.
years ago. Yeah. That was a mad little gig.
Well, you
Jesus.
continuously took the piss out of the place going on fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd actually forgot it went on fire as well. Like, and then I can't even. I said something at the start. I can't even remember what I said. But the room reacted. I went gold.
Yeah, because I
So
remember
for the night
I was
then.
like, that was a nicely tied in joke there. It was something about fucking burning, and it was because
Yeah.
it was just a kind of tongue-in-cheek joke that maybe was burnt for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
Which-
I mean, look. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, but there was a couple of nice Mercedes parked here, then,
yeah.
you know, and
It's been going well ever since.
exactly, yeah, it has been.
And we're only down the hill from where your one originated.
Yeah, that's it. Like, we're in the heart of the borough, really. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
because I don't know what's the borough. Because obviously down that hill there, which direction is Ballybrack from us here at the?
straight across that roundabout down, and you're just straight ahead, and you're in the brack.
You're in the Brack.
Yeah.
And because I'd been working with what I suppose he'd be a fellow Brackian in a sense. He's from kind of the Shankill direction, Davy Crowley.
Yeah.
He was in Damo and Ivor with me.
Right,
But
gotcha.
he's
It's on fucking Netflix now, we see, man.
Yeah. I only found out that it's like, all right.
Yeah, I was just flicking through Netflix, being like, oh, yeah, I'll see this. Damo and Ivor's on Netflix. Come on, the boys. So, yeah, man.
Why
look,
not?
This is it.
It isn't costing. I suppose that's the thing. I suppose it doesn't cost Netflix anything once you've a yoke made to go.
Yeah.
Come on, get her up there.
Happy out, that's it.
But yeah, he fucking loves the place as well. Yeah. Yourself and Merrow have I didn't think to be a niche for just an area in Dublin.
Yeah.
But there's a pride, isn't there, in the old Brack?
It's
and
kind
the
of
surrounding.
weird, like, yeah, it's, do you know what I mean? It's one of those things, like, when you're a little kid and all that, kind of like your parents are like, anybody asks, you're from Cloyney, right? And they're like, gotcha. and when you're taking out car insurance, put Cloyney on that address, you know what I mean? But then you get to a certain point, you're like, nah, Graham Merrigan will never, ever admit to that. Graham Merrigan will be like, no, Ballybrack for life. Because he, you know.
Oh, he is Brack to the, yeah.
Yeah, those IRA heads, you know yourself, like, do you know what I mean? But,
Yeah, I have a funny feeling our conversation is going to get us Republican as it did when I talked to Graham.
yeah, most of the conversations do. Like, we're talking to Geroge Foreman, he's bringing up the RA, and I'm like, Graham, cut it out, man. But, yeah, man, so I think everybody just loves, like, anybody that's from here. In fairness, like, you've got Dunleary 5 minutes down the road,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then you're 10 minutes and you're out near the Sugarloaf and the Wicklow Mountains. And all.
Yeah.
So it's fucking great, like.
And on top of that, even if you weren't, you know what I mean, if you like podcasts, but you weren't actually from Ballybrack, but you were, like you said, Dunleary's fucking huge as well,
Yeah.
Killiney's huge, and Shankill, and you'd go, kind of, yeah, I know that I feel associated with it, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the thing with the borough, like, because, like, you even said it there, like, I don't know where the borough is. Nobody knows where the borough officially extends to and ends. Everybody just kind of goes, yeah, but Shankill's probably the furthest south we'll go. But anything beyond Dunleary, yeah, you can be part of it. You're in. Like, so, I mean,
Right.
We'll claim anyone. We'll claim anyone, anything, as long as they're not allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it is a nice enough area around here, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, Ballybrack, I mean, you can joke and all. It's not exactly dog rough, is it?
No. Like, there was a period in time where it was rough as a dog's arse, like, but.
No, it's saying
You
that
know.
I did see a fellow walking two pit bulls up the road that
Yeah.
they look like they could bench press a car, both
Yeah.
dogs. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what are you feeding
Yeah.
them fucking things?
Yeah.
Like, this malnourished poor bastard walking these two
Yeah,
things.
them dogs are living on steak and he's living on fucking food vouchers and butter stamps, you know what I mean? But, like, them dogs were probably called, like, Twinkle and Ollie or something, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, they're
yeah,
just real, like, you know, but, yeah, it's kind of, at one point in time it was definitely the reputation kind of befitted the area. But now, like, the Irish Times are writing articles that are like, priced out of Cloyney, try Ballybrack.
Really?
I
Yeah.
swear to God, you're like, go on, the Irish Times, go
It's
out.
Killiney light, like, so is it? It's,
Yeah, well, as I said, like, that's their parents always said if anybody asked from Cloyney. So, I mean, they were just ahead of the times, that's all, like, literally, you know.
yeah,
So,
but
South Cloyney now, I think, is officially.
is that what it's South
Yeah,
Killiney
that's
now?
it, yeah.
That is. But sure, everything gets gentrified. Like, sure, even when, in the period of time with Culchies, when they move from South Culchies, when they move up,
Yeah.
it's always Inchicore they hit first. So the Inchicore is full of Culchies, and then
Yeah.
Culchies who have stayed, and then there's the owl dubs and stuff. But like when you moved there first, the cheapest chips it was dog. You know, it was rough enough. But sure, right now, sure, you couldn't get love no money there.
Stop, man, stop. But it's mad, like, because even that whole thing as well, like, when people move and they kind of like, oh, fuck, I have to fit in.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Even that element of it, like, and there's
Yeah,
some people who go the complete opposite and they, like, fucking cling to whatever bit of kind of like, no, I'm fucking diehard fucking Cork and I'll never be anything
Yeah,
but
yeah,
diehard
yeah, yeah.
Cork. There's other lads saying, like, when I was in college, there was a guy who, he was from, where was he from? Oh, shit. Somewhere in Laois. Well, he'd tell people he's from the greater Dublin area.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, what? What is that?
But you did, listen, I had a bit about it, like lads moving to Dublin, just dropping the accent. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I knew lads like they were going, where the fuck you got? You know, I'm from Newer now, actually. You know, I'm actually from Newer at all. You're like, oh, would you give it a fucking rest? Like, because you'll get no respect either side of the fence.
No, that's it. The Dubs will know you're the blow-in, and the coaches will disown you, you see. That's
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
like, you know
But
what I mean?
I notice more and more Dubs moving down, like, especially where I'm from in Tipperary, there's a world of Dubs now, because there's a lot of employment in Clonmel.
Yeah.
So if you can get the same job in Clonmel as you could, why would you?
Fucking sure, like, that's it, like, you know what I mean? And that's, look, that's, you know.
It's the same. I suppose it's the same with every capital city, isn't it? Really, like
It is,
London's
yeah.
a ball bag of a place to try and live as well. Like,
Stop, man.
it's
Yeah,
worse. Like you wouldn't get
definitely. It's fucking. That's a mad kip altogether over there. Like, and that's got, like, you know, whatever about Dublin being a difficult enough spot for people at the moment and all that. Like, you go to London, you're talking about the same problems intensified times 10, like, easily. You know what I mean? The only difference being transport's better.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I was, any of the lads, most of the dancers and stuff like that were on the old Panto. They're all London based. Like.
Oh no, they weren't.
Fuck them.
Cheap pop, Tom. Cheap pop.
3 solid weeks of this shit. Like. 3 solid weeks. But in fairness, like talking to them is like, so where do you live? And they're like, oh, do you know Stroppensteinstire? I'm like, is that near London? It is.
Yeah.
It's the greater London area, but it's like 3 hours on a train every day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's like I'm living in Portlaoise now, and people are like, "Oh my god, Portlaoise, you're still working in Dublin?" Yeah. How long does it take you to get up here? And I'm like, depends on traffic, an hour and a half.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And people are like, "Oh my god." You say that to somebody in London, they're like, "You lucky bastard."
Yeah. But even as it is here, though, the amount of people here, I guarantee you, they've 45 minutes to work. Easily.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a set of wheels, you're probably doing an hour. You know, like
That's
if you're
it,
living out here and you work in town.
Oh yeah, Dart alone's going to take you 40-50 minutes.
Yeah, so what?
You know what I mean?
But
So,
I think it just blows people's minds. They're like, "Oh my, so that's a distance."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, but I'm getting to actually drive and not just sitting up the hole or something else."
That's it, like.
Or some fucker coughing all over the side of my ear.
Oh, stop! Yeah, there's nothing more. That's public transport is just like, look, lads, like, advice for free. If you're going on public transport, fucking wash the morning before you go. Like, I don't understand anybody who, like, everybody can smell BO.
Yeah.
I do not understand
You
people
mouldy bastard.
Exactly, man.
But
How can you leave the house whiffing like that?
But this is the thing. It's nothing to do with even somebody sweating. Because you could bust your whole sweating. It's a fucking compound in that shit, and you're just not giving yourself a wash.
That's it. That's exactly what I like. I mean, like, I'm a fucking, look, I'm a hefty unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I sweat getting in and out of your car, like, you know what I mean? But the difference is I'll wash, like, you know what I mean? So, but it's those fuckers who sweat, and the next day they sweat, and they're gone on to day 3, and you're like, you still haven't washed, right? This
you're
is getting...
still on, and then
you know the fuckers who they see 72-hour deodorant, and they're like, there's good value in that. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, who was buying that?
Who's taking that can literally?
Yeah.
Taking that can literally, you bastard.
It's either you have some excess of sweat glands, son, or you're a dirty bastard.
Oh, there's just no fucking excuse.
Mouldy.
Like, and even, like, you know, there's, I suppose, even on, because a lot of people, like, that listen to this are on public transport in other countries, and they all sound like they're doing quite well, you know, you know, but there's zero crack. I mean, the odd time you will see, like, a Dublin bus where you might see an old junkie fucking set fire to his head or something. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be something go on, like.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of crack, like, on, like, the London Tube and stuff like that. You're just staring at the ground. It's like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, you're crammed in a way that is... I mean, like, I've seen... Like, I've been in London a few times, and, like, I remember getting the tube. I've only been on the tube twice.
Yeah.
And I was like, never again. Fuck this, never again. Like,
did you get the feeling of the zombie apocalypse kicks off? We're fucked.
Oh man, World War Z straight into my head. Yeah,
that was
and I
first
was
thing
like,
into my head.
Fuck this, like, no. And like, I mean, I don't know. I'm one of those people that, like, the second I watched The Walking Dead, I came up with, like, right, if shit ever goes down, here's my plan. Like, do you know what I mean?
You notice how much camo is in my car?
Well,
yeah.
I was kind of, and I wouldn't mind at the time. I was kind of like, there's one man who I know has a plan.
I have a plan. Constantly going with a bug out bag in the back just in case. Leave herself behind. I'm sorry, love. It's just
you'll never make it anyway. You just slow me down, all right? This is survival now. I'd be taking the wolves and I'd be gone. Like, you know what I mean?
It's because I remember I was the first time I was in London to gig with and it was Rory O'Hanlon Rory.
Rory. Oh my God,
Some
man.
worker.
The hardest working man.
Oh my God.
Like, I haven't spoke to Rory in donkey's years, but I still follow him on Twitter and I still see his stuff and all that. And every time I see him, he's either like on a train going to a gig, on a plane going to a gig. He's like, I'm like, man, how does he do it?
That I don't know.
Ridiculous.
Funny
man though. Funny
Oh,
man.
mate, like, but there's the hours. But we were going for lunch one of the days. And he kind of had to teach me how to walk in London because I'm walking, swinging my arms like I'm off down a field.
Yeah.
You know, we're on Oxford Street. And he's just breaking his whole laugh, and he goes, "Man, you're country as fuck, aren't you?" I says, "What?" He goes, "You're fucking knocking people off the footpath. You're talking over your shoulder to me." He says, "You're walking lines around here." I says, "Fuck that." He goes,
"Yeah, man."
He says, "You wouldn't." He says, "You do that for about a week." He goes, "And then you'd find yourself actually just assimilating and getting in line."
Yeah,
and it sounded all of a sudden it sounded very fucking Orwellian. Nearly, it was like And next thing we went down the tube or down this escalator into now is a big station, and I was just standing there, elbow up on the yoke, talking away. He says, "No, Tom, there's 2 lines now. People that want to walk down the fucking escalator, and people. Oh no, but when we get down, I swear to God, there was about 5 escalators all coming into the one spot, and it was just humanity, just fucking." And all I thought was World War Z. I swear to God, one of these cunts bites me. That's fucking it. I'm going to fucking just work.
I mean, you're from Tip where biting is probably,
yeah,
it's just a weekend activity.
Well, the idea being is that you're ready for a bite at all times. That's
you're on high alert.
Yeah, you're on. It's just your go-to thing. You're just ready.
Yeah, man. Fuck that. I can't. I'm not good in those crowd situations in general. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'll fucking rein it in and I'll get through it and that. But I mean, we're just over Christmas. Like, I fucking hate going to Tesco at Christmas because I'm like, what? How many people in there? Oh God.
Yeah, no, that's. You'd have your fill. Like, I mean, you'd have your fucking fill. Like, that was a good thing actually. We were in Limerick. Like, it's just again a small city, and it just. But even still, if I had to pop up the road to the fucking because it's Christmas, it was just fucking bananas. And at the same time, I was like, I'll do without that, so will I? Yeah, I'll do without that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will live. Look, we'll be grand. We have something else there, do we?
How do you fare at big matches then and concerts? Because you're fond of concerts and stuff like that. Because I don't deal well.
Yeah, like I'm at the point now though where like it would have to be somebody who I really want to see.
Diamond made a comeback, like, and came back to Dublin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's Neil Diamond for anybody.
Neil Diamond,
big fan, aren't you?
I won't have a bad word said about
No,
them.
I know, and you're dead right. Stand by your guns.
And look, there's some people who claim Jesus is the King of the Jews. I would say it's Brooklyn's own Neil Diamond. But yeah, like he's just. Look, I love Neil Diamond. Yeah, if Neil Diamond done a comeback now, I would. I'd have to go to that. Like, Springsteen's another one. If like Springsteen could be playing a roundabout in the middle of Walkinstown, I'd be like, "Yep, grand, I'm there. Don't care. Yeah, I'll stand on the M50, whatever. Yeah."
That's understand. Like, I can't. But then maybe I don't know if there's anybody I could fucking think of where I'd be okay with sharing that much space with other humans. Like,
yeah,
because you see, if it's grand, if there's the likes of people with the mentality of Danny Murray, all of us are there. Grand, but I guarantee you, there'll be pockets of thick cunts everywhere. Where all you want to do is just start knocking people out, and you're going, I should have stayed at home.
See, and this is the dilemma I have at concerts now, right? Because I'm at the point in my social career where I don't want to do the pitch standing shit anymore. Yeah. I'm like, no, I want to sit down, chill, relax, enjoy this.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? In other words, I'm getting older and lazier. It's
fine. No, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah,
it is. And but the problem is, if you're standing on the pitch, you have the freedom to move around. So if you're near the box, you can kind of go, do you know what? Let's just fucking change perspective here and shift a bit.
Yeah.
If you're sitting beside a pox at a concert, that's it. Buckle in, because the next 3 to 4 hours, that's your fucking neighbour. Like, you know what I mean?
Jesus, you're right, yeah.
And I don't mind people having a few drinks at a concert. I'm not like
not
that.
At all.
No. I'm not that much of an arsehole. But like when it becomes a fucking sponsored walk in and out of the bar, I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so that's the killer, like.
Yeah. That was the thing. I remember you noticed the colour of the microphones. I did it on purpose to give me the blue.
Thanks
and you the red.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I was wondering at the start. I won't bring it up.
And I wasn't going to go straight in there, Danny. I wasn't going to go straight in there.
Yeah, lovely.
But do you know what? I was at one of the most unenjoyable Munster-Leinster matches I was ever at. Munster won.
Yeah.
And it was in the. I think we might have talked about it. It was in the Aviva. And I was put sitting with a bunch of boxes. Like, there was nothing but wankers everywhere.
It's fucking cat, like.
And it would have been cat no matter who they were. Now, they were ones, but they weren't even fans. You knew they weren't there in 2006. They weren't there in 2008. They probably got PwC free tickets somewhere, and they showed up and got steaming drunk, and they're just roaring the whole. You're like, what are you? And I couldn't. I just sat there with a fucking puss on me, just going, "This is
like." There's a mad difference between kind of like banter between the two sets, and then there's the arseholes who have a superiority complex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
and that's I can't be dealing with them fucking. I haven't renewed my season ticket with Leinster for the last 2 years now. I kind of got sick of fucking, and I wouldn't mind. Because of this whole thing. And also they're the cheaper tickets because I'm a cheap fucker.
Yeah.
So I used to get my season ticket in the North Stand because it's unreserved seating, so you can sit wherever the fuck you want.
Grand, yeah.
So in my head, I was like, yeah, all right. There's not many Leinster games in the season that sell out fully.
Yeah.
If I'm near the pucks, I'll just get up,
walk off,
and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Fucking sound, no bother, like. But it just got to the point, no matter where I went, it was just poxes.
Yeah.
Just everywhere. And I was like, I can't be dealing with this. Like, I just can't. And then every match I went to in the Aviva, they were doing this. I don't know if you'd been to one yet, where they tried to do this forced atmosphere.
Oh, no.
They'd play stuff through the speakers to try and. Or they'd have a band there who would like play the tune of one of the chants and expect people to join in. But the problem with Leinster, and I love Leinster, but the problem is that it's fucking Molly Malone constantly.
Oh my god.
Which is a dreary bastard of a song.
It's a woman dying of fucking syphilis or something.
Exactly, yeah. She definitely riddled with some shit.
Riddled,
anyway, like, do you know what I mean? But and I just got to the point where I was like, fuck this. Like, I can't be dealing with these arsewipes behind me and then that shit going on. Like,
yeah, there's a.
So, I'm coming across the right grumpy fucker here, but I suppose that's playing into the whole shtick that I like to do anyway.
Yeah,
so I'm all right with
you're
that.
the heel.
Like,
you're the heel.
Yeah.
You're the heel on that.
Exactly, yeah.
But you know what? It's a weird one because, and I was always going to fucking. Do you know the best Leinster fans? Like, I remember the 2006 semi-final.
Yeah.
And
that was the one in Lansdowne, wasn't it?
There was the one in Lansdowne.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was like Munster were in their pomp at the time. Sure, they'd have most of the Ireland team nearly, and Leinster hadn't pulled their socks up yet. Like, whatever.
Jesus.
This car park is pandemonium. I love this car park because it's nothing but old ones just driving up on top of each. So, and it's one of the only car parks in the world where some of the trees actually have their own car parking spaces.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's kind of like they just did not give a shit.
Not bursting out of the tarmac, just trees.
Nah, fuck it, lads. Just throw a white line there and on that one, that'll do. That's not a full spot. Don't care. If Smart Car will get in there, otherwise fuck off.
But it was I remember meeting some of the Leinster fans afterwards, and it was just people who were just into rugby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas what seems to have happened is just the fashion. Fashion has fucking the fashionability, I suppose, of what
that
rugby has become now.
And I suppose that's part of the game going professional and all that, and the growth of kind of the interpros. Because I mean, like, if you look at the AIL, and like, I mean, the AIL has died a death.
Yeah.
It's died a
death,
you know?
yeah.
And like, in many ways, I'm a blow in. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, it's not as if Ballybrack is the heartland of rugby country. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, we've got Sea Point, which they're great and all that. And I think they actually won it's going back maybe 5 years ago. They won one of the cups, one of the All Ireland cups. But like, they're not one of the top.
No, they're
at all. Like, you know what I mean? And they're certainly not one of the stalwarts of, like, you know, a Wesley or a Cork Con or any of those guys. Like, but yeah, so like, I mean, in many ways, I'm a blow-in as well, but like, this whole thing of like, you know, it's that classic kind of like, oh shit, we better buy a pair of Cantos and we better, you know, like, here we go, let's go to the game because we have to be seen at the game. Like,
and when did you get into rugby then? If that's the case, like,
I would say probably
as long as I know you, you've always
I was in secondary school, so I mean, probably like 14ish thereabouts. Like, I started to kind of
right.
You know, and it kind of happened just like. I wouldn't say my dad's still not a big rugby fan, even now with, like, you know, having me at him for the last 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think he'd just kind of have a casual kind of like, he's flicking through the Six Nations is on, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I can't just remember what it was. I think it was actually, I had a woodwork teacher, Ted Doherty was his name, and he's a Cork man, and I can't remember how the conversation came up about rugby or something like that.
Yeah.
But from there, I just kind of went, next time it's on, I'll give it a lash.
Yeah.
And from there, then, that's it. Like, it's been a kind of like a steady kind of, you know, to the point where I am now, where I'm like, how do I convince me missus we're going to Japan in September?
I've been trying to think of that one myself. I wonder if there's any comedy gigs over in Japan I can work out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a comedy club or two in Tokyo I could look at, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and then, so I would say, it was maybe about 13, 14, I'd say, when I started there.
Right.
And then, but, you know, by the time I think it was at Lions Tour 05. I was like kind of fully. That's when I was getting up out of bed to watch it at whatever stupid o'clock it was on New Zealand. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's when I kind of knew. All right, now I like rugby now. You know.
But it's gone. Jesus, I mean, it's gone to a level now. Even watching like what they'd class as a bad game, like the Leinster Munster one, it wasn't a great fucking spectacle.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. And like it was inevitable. Somebody was getting sent off.
Oh yeah,
you could tell in the first 5 minutes. You're like, no, this one's going because Munster had an intensity that Leinster weren't fucking ready for.
Yeah,
and Leinster just didn't know how to quickly adapt to it.
Yeah.
So then, and fair enough. Look, I mean, in the end, it wasn't sending off for something violent. It was just James Lowe fucking
being a gowl, like just running like a wally, like
exactly. You know what I mean. And he does a bit of a wally heading him, like. You know
but he does wally things. But you know what I mean. You'd let him off because he's fucking class. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. But it wasn't. It definitely wasn't one of the ones that is a fucking classic anyway. Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
no. Because but it's good to fucking see. Like, it's good to see when you see the likes of that Fineen Wycherley lad, like 21, 22 years of age. It's good to see, and he's from not what would be known as like West Cork down in Bantry direction.
It's when you hear those guys coming through, you're kind of like, "Fuck, are we stealing GAA lads?"
Yeah, probably is. Yeah,
shit. Because them boyos, they'll come at you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, even some of the lads I know now, like, you know what I mean? They'd often talk about how playing GAA as a kid, like, their coach would be from, what are you going to? Soccer practice, is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I mean, go to soccer practice. Don't fucking turn up here and inspect your game on Sunday.
Well, it can be a bit, especially outside. And I remember I was chatting with Dean Rock about it, and I said, because he played an awful lot of rugby in school.
Yeah.
And I said, was there ever? He goes, no, there was never anything brought up about it. And I was kind of going, yeah, but did you get special treatment? He goes, I don't know. I still had to prove myself both sides of it. I said, but nobody ever seemed to have an issue. I seemed to be able to work it out. I was like, yeah, I still think you got special treatment.
Probably,
like,
man, yeah. Somebody like Dean Rock probably would.
Dean, when you got a surname like Rock, you know, you're doing all, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. They'll know you'll show up. You'll show up either fucking place. Like, you're 6'4" and built like a god. You're okay.
You're built for sport is what you are there. You know what I mean? Fucking madness. Like, you know, those sort of people, you know, like I mean, well, I was going to say people like John Jones, but I mean, he's a bit controversial at the moment, I suppose. But I mean, like, you know those fuckers you look at and you're like, there's only two things in this world you would be doing, and one of them is 100% lashing people out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your body's just designed for it. There's nothing else like that you could see them doing successfully other than being a fucking beast. Like,
there's some people exactly. They just they can't. You're kind of going, how the fuck did you end up there? Like, I remember, I'll never forget, there was a lad. I don't know how he sidestepped. And he played no sports at all, and he even looked like a fellow taking a bit of battering around the face, like, you know, those like front rows that looked like, but he never did. It was just how he naturally grew up. It was down. He was neighbour of my sister down in Cork, and he was 6'5", and walked around at probably 21, 22 stone.
Yeah, you see, it's those
pause, and you're like, how did you avoid everybody? How did you avoid? Because like, I was just never into sport. It was just more into, you know.
Yeah, it's madness. Look, I mean, I always remember man. Dermot O'Sullivan played for Cork.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'd look at him,
the
you'd
Rock.
be like,
the Rock.
You'd look at him, you'd be like, no fucking way, he's last. And then you just see him fucking bombing around the pitch and
busting lads, like,
stop scoring points from nearly his own goal line. Never mind that.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd just be hooring the schlitter around. He'd be like, yeah, fucking some boy out, like.
But the old state of fucking Irish rugby. I know you don't get to talk too much with Miro about it. Cause
I know, so this is like, I'm going to blow me load if I'm not careful.
Yes.
Like. Thank God these are leather seats.
It's be grand that we wiped on. I have fucking wipes and everything in the car. It happens to me on a regular basis. Like, but the state of it is, for a small little nation, it's some fucking going, isn't it?
Rude health, man. Rude health. But you know what? It's fucking great to see because, like, I mean, you've had Eddie O'Sullivan on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I love listening to Eddie. But even when Eddie was, like, coach the Irish rugby team, you always kind of felt like we're, 5, maybe 6 players away from actually fucking being able to challenge for that.
Yeah.
The beauty of what Schmidt has done, and, like...
Nusvora has to be thanked for a fair bit of it too, like,
Yes and no, like, because... I don't know. I've very mixed emotions about David Nusvora because, like, fair enough. In terms of his logic, just straightforward in terms of, like, no, do you know what? This is where we need the positions, therefore you're not getting a foreign player.
But also, I think the working out of lads' minutes, I think, has really
the
helped.
Player management thing.
Yeah. That's what I would give him more than anything.
Well, all right, that's fair. And especially when you look at somebody like Sexton, who definitely, I think, needs game management.
Because he puts himself through the fucking ringer. Peter O'Mahony, the very same, like, trying to kill himself.
Peter O'Mahony is the type of man who you like if your missus turned around to you tomorrow and went, I'm leaving you, and you found out it was Peter the Man, you'd be like, oh, yeah, do you know what?
Grand, yeah. Fair.
I was never going to win that one
No,
anyway. Like,
no,
yeah,
that's
man,
fine. Do you know what? I go. You know, I could go for it myself.
Yeah,
even,
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, just let me know when the wedding is. I'll get you a present. Like there is a lot, but I mean, like Schmidt, and that's part. I don't know if it's just fucking me having blind loyalty because of what Schmidt done with Leinster as well. But even at Claremont, like if you look at what Claremont were doing when Claremont were almost in their pomp, and it was Schmidt and Vern Cotter in charge. Like Vern Cotter was, and Schmidt was his assistant.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at how the two of them have all gone in terms of their trajectory, you're kind of wondering like, how much did Vern Cotter actually fucking do compared to, you know what I mean? It's. I mean, I'm shitting on Vern Cotter there, and he's clearly fucking got a rugby brain on him. You know what I mean? But just what Schmidt has done with Leinster, with Ireland, holy fuck! Like.
But everybody's come on as a result of it. Everybody's come on. Like,
it's
I mean,
amazing. Like.
Because I genuinely think too that if you like, fucking there's it had like I watched it was highlights. Cork Con, they were playing Gary Owen. Yeah. And I swear to God, the standard I was watching, you're going, I know this is down to DIL, but all you fellas are getting a look in every so often. You're training with Munster and you're training with maybe, and you could. I'm not joking with you. Some of these lads, you go a couple of months training with the big boys, and I guarantee you. You know, if you were out of your job, I guarantee you these lads were not far off. Like it's like Sean Cronin's brother plucked out of Gary Owen, just went, you know what, let's give him a go. Yeah, and it turns out he's perfectly fine. He's slotted in fine to pro rugby.
Like, Sean Cronin's another one that I absolutely love. He's a Limerick man originally, isn't he?
Yeah.
I love him, like, because I mean, he's what 32, I'd say now.
He must be, yeah.
And I mean, he just isn't slowing down. He is like he's your ideal impact front row, like in the sense of, his darts aren't great, you know what I mean? But in terms of a scrummaging, solid enough, and an open play, forget it, like.
Stop.
He'll burn a winger, like. He's just, for a front row, the pace of the fucker. Love Sean Cronin.
I love watching him, because he just goes off and he's fucking real nuggets. Nuggets is his name, but like he goes off and he's fucking, it's like your man, it's like watching Dave Kilcoyne take off. Just little bulls. Watching these little bulls just take off, like Furlong's a different thing to look at. You're looking at that going, well, that's just a whirlwind. Yeah. You know. That's
another one that we were talking about, the whole like fucking people who you look at and like there's only two things you'll be doing.
Yeah.
You'd either be fucking taking bulls by their horns and castrating them, or you'd be a front row fucking rugby player.
Yeah. You know what I mean? He's never going to be your accountant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like he's
no, not a chance. Like, I'd say he's decent at a now belting out now Gareth Brooks song or something.
Oh, you know it for sure. Like.
I'd say karaoke. He's like.
Put the
dance on, please.
Yeah. But we don't have the dance. Put the dance on.
You hummus, I'll sing it.
Yeah, you can. See, that's I suppose the progression of even Leinster too, is that they're finding lads who are all right. The likes of, you know, you've Sean O'Brien and stuff probably broke the mold in that they all broke the duck for I suppose inside the pale players like he you know, he practically drove his tractor up to fucking the RDS, like, you know what I mean? And takes pure pride in. But then when you let a fellow rampage like that, now I know he's suffered his injuries the last couple of months, like whatever, but sure, that's what happens when you spend your lifetime just
that's when you play
burying lads, like
that fucking attrition sort of rugby. Then like, I mean, he's been I feel sorry for him, because you get the feeling he's kind of being robbed of at least 3 years now, like, you know what I mean? And you look at somebody like Jamie Heaslip was like in the back row with him for years and years and years. And it was almost like the complete opposite. Heaslip seemed to be made of like fucking adamantium or whatever the fuck Wolverine's made of, and you couldn't kill the bastard. And then all of a sudden, then he picks up a niggly injury, and that's it, game over. Which goes to show you as well. Like, I mean, fucking, it's fickle. Like, it's a fickle career for these boys. But
like a fellow who I would have been close with throughout his career was Dennis Leamy. Like, and sure, I mean, Leamy again, you know. But again, he was attritional too. He loved taking the contact, like, rather than going for the gap. And then his hips just gave out. Yeah, you know. Yeah, but again, like if you stand beside that man, I've never seen bigger hands on any human ever. And I played rugby with Tony Buckley, like,
Jesus,
you know what I mean. But he was just built for like that, slapping cows around the face or throwing lads in over fucking hoardings at fucking games, like. But
fucking animals, a lot of them. Like.
Animals, like, but again, the body gave out as a fucking result of it. But it's mad, like when you see, like the likes of Nusfora and we, you know, it's like, but not allowing Pienaar back. But look what it did for
Well,
John Cooney, like.
Yeah, that's
you know
true,
what I mean?
actually,
like,
in fairness. And Cooney's kind of jumped up the rankings now.
Yeah,
as well, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, realistically, you're probably looking at it. Conor Murray's like,
Yeah, you're not going to shift him.
No, 100. Like, I mean, and rightfully so. He is world class and that. But, you know, whereas the boys are good behind him, they're just 2 or 3 shades behind.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And then you look and you kind of go, like, Marmion probably second. And then, whereas beforehand you would have said, like, Luke McGrath third. Now you're probably going Cooney.
Yeah.
McGrath maybe fourth. Which is insane when you think McGrath's starting for Leinster.
Huh?
And suddenly he's found himself right down the fucking pecking order.
I suppose
you know?
it's the cruel irony that, I mean, if you get your opportunity, like, and Cooney went, well, do you know what I'll do? I'll bring something else. Because I was listening to an interview. This is why they kick him. Why? He said, well, I had to bring something else.
Yeah.
I had to show I've got something else. And he's more the French number 9 now that he can actually pop balls over and everything. He's half 10, half 9. Like, so it was just, it was interesting to hear him talk. And it was like, oh, you cute whore. You got your gig, like, and I suppose the likes of Georgie Murphy was looking at that going, yeah, do you know what, I'll tip up there too, sure, I can show me wares, like.
Yeah, like, the Ulster seemed like a province in fucking crisis. They definitely seemed like they'd hit the old panic button a lot last year with
sure,
everything
all
that went on. Listen.
Jesus Christ. I think they've done extremely well to even be able to, you know.
They've steadied the ship.
They have, but they won't find an identity for another 2-3 years.
I was going to say, it's probably, I mean, like
even Munster as it is now, they've new number 10 obviously in, like, so you're going to be fine. Everything will be, they'll build a team, or they'll build it around him, the identity, but it would seem what they're trying to come with is intense defence at the minute, like smashing everybody, and see what works from that. Like Leinster have their identity. Yeah. Do you know, hence why they've got the trophy cabinet is nice and full. Like,
that's it. Like, you know, but I mean, I think as well, I don't know if the conversation has already taken place or if the conversation is going to take place, but maybe over the summer you might see a situation where, you know, they suddenly announce the departure of Stuart Lancaster to the Ireland setup alongside Andy Farrell once Joe heads off into the sunset, you know what I mean? Which, and no disrespect to Leo Cullen. Leo Cullen's done a brilliant job. Far better than I thought he would do, I have to say. Like, I was one of the people that when I heard he took the job, I was like, another couple of years before.
Sure.
You know? But in fairness to him.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I get what you're alluding to there now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, look,
Leo is, you know, he's a good man for all the chat and all the rest, but everything changed when Stuart Lancaster came on.
That's it. He seemed to be the kind of the magic key that let them unlock so much. Like, you know what I mean? And I think Lancaster got a fucking raw deal after the 2015.
Of course, he fucking did.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter who was in charge there, they could have fucking brought back any fucking hero of British and English culture ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they would have failed in that World Cup.
Of course they would, yeah.
Because they didn't have the players, and there was such expectations going into a World Cup on home soil. It's coming home, lads. You know what I mean? And they were in a group with Australia and Wales, who were both unbelievable teams at the time. Like, Australia went all the way to the final, sure.
Come World Cup, they always turn it on.
Exactly,
anyway,
you know. And suddenly the whole blame was put at Lancaster's feet. You know, like, because I mean, he even turned fucking English rugby around to the point where you didn't hate the English.
He
as
made him
much.
absolutely lovable. Like.
Yeah, you know, like, they had this like little degree of modesty about them and stuff. And you were you'd hear them in interviews, and you'd be like, "Huh, it's not to you. I don't really want to go over there and burn them out of their houses anymore."
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, you didn't have
I
that.
wouldn't go that far, then. I mean, it's still.
I take this shit serious, Tom. But like, you didn't have.
No, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. That I wouldn't burn them out of their house. Like, I mean, yeah.
But then, like, they brought in fucking Eddie Jones, and all of a sudden, you don't just want to burn them out of their houses. You want to fucking burn their entire land. You want everything.
Oh my
gone,
God!
Like.
Follow the colonies around the world and fucking burn it. Like,
just any trace.
What? But you know what? And that's thankfully, like, say we had our couple of turkeys as well back in the day. The likes of Brian Ashton didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Like, you know, yeah boy, and Murray Cage, you know, and a couple of more. But I mean, then when you got to the likes of we'd Gatlin, we'd Eddie, and there seemed to be a steady. You know, we're coming up, and then Declan Kidney come on, obviously off the back of doing doing the business with Munster. So we seem to progressively get there all the time. And thanks fuck, we landed. The idea was, well, if we're going to get better, we need the next coach up. But it seems like England have just gone all over the fucking job.
It's madness. Like, it's fucking just madness. There should have been this kind of, and I think Lancaster did try to you know what I mean, put some water on the flames a little bit, being like, you know, I don't think he was going out saying we're going to win this World Cup, but I think the RFU and the English fans certainly were like, "Oh, we're gonna fucking win it! 2003 again, swing low." Yes!
I was over there for it. Like I was gigging all over 2 weeks through London, like, and it was just amazing to watch it. Like it was just
I went over to a couple of the Ireland games, and I was in Edinburgh on a stag do for the England-Australia game. And we were in, Three Sisters pub.
I know it well.
Edinburgh.
I know it well.
Oh, Lord. But we went there I think we went there for breakfast at about 10 in the morning.
Of course, yeah.
And then there was soccer on that day, and then it was Rugby World Cup, so there was literally just throughout the day. So about 6 of us did not leave that day. Like, I mean, literally, it was, we were in there that long. It was the point where, have you ever stood up and there's a faint smell?
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of like, you're there that long and you're like, oh, Jesus.
This is healthy. Yeah. You haven't seen sunlight in 8 hours.
Oh, no, we hadn't. Yeah. And that place turns into a nightclub as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, you don't have to actually leave. Like,
no, we were there literally from whatever time they opened to serve breakfast at. So I think it was like about 10 in the morning we got there, and we did not leave until like the nightclub was finished.
Yeah, I'd well believe it. Yeah.
And like that Australia were playing England, and there was about 20 of us staying in the place last night. You got 20 Irish lads in there in a stag. You had another stag somewhere else. A load of scotch.
Yeah.
We were just delighted to see England lose at anything, especially war. And then there was a couple of Aussies in there as well. The place went fucking bananas.
Oh, pandemonium.
It was amazing. And at that stage, it was kind of clear then, shit, England can't, they're done, like.
Yeah.
They need a miracle, they're done. And, the place went fucking ballistic, like.
I think it was during the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. There was like just gigging there randomly. But they were playing, Ireland women beating New Zealand for the first time ever. Was on.
The Women's World, was it the Women's World Cup in France?
It would have been, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in France a couple of years ago.
And Ireland beating them. And it was, the men hadn't done it at that stage.
Yeah.
The place went fucking bananas. Did we know a single one of the players? No, not really. Like, I mean, we knew a couple of their names, like, but it was great because then it was like, oh yeah, the women can do the fucking biz too, like, you know what I mean? And there should be more given to the fucking, the game, because when we would start watching fucking, you start watching some of women's rugby, and of course, once more effort is put towards it, then the skill levels come up, and then you'll watch it,
Yeah, and that's it. And I think the women's game has, like, I mean, you look at it now, even during the Six Nations, their games are televised now.
Yeah.
Whereas 5 years ago, wasn't a fucking prayer to that.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
No.
Like what do they call them? The Wolfhounds now? Was it the fucking basically the Ireland B or underage team?
Yeah.
The Ireland Wolfhounds, whatever they're called. Them games are always televised. You know what I mean? Which is grand because you get to see kind of either lads that will be the next step or the boys who are going to go back into their AIL clubs, and you'll be able to see them out in the park the following Sunday. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, which is great. Like, but the women's game wasn't getting any attention at all.
It wasn't. No.
You know, but yeah, look, fucking fair play to them.
Jesus Christ, it is scary though when you see like the under 20s, isn't it? When you're going, stop. That fucker's only 18. You joking me? And they're just these beasts of fucking men, like just.
Yeah. That applies to young ones outside discos as well, though. Fucking hell.
It's true. It's fucking true.
Didn't dress like that when I was that age. What's going on here?
Stop. Come here, sir. I've been working with fucking with these dancers for the last, and dancers tend to dress like fucking. Are you fucking joking me? Like, but.
Where you get a little bit of, you're like, where do I look?
Oh, no, it was so funny. We went for the cast dinner the other night, like, and it's just standard that dancers will all dress like they don't give up, Yeah. Did you not see all of me? Yeah. Did you want to know what I had for breakfast? Have a look. But it was like, I'm up the other end of the table. They're all having a giggly time down there, and it was I was pretty much sitting with all the crew members up the top of the. I'm like, I can't even be down there, like, because I definitely, like, what are years you go? I have a bit of gas, but I was up there going, I just want to, I can't, and I can't look at any of them, or I'll give out to them. Yeah. I find myself giving out to them because now I know them, and they're like little sisters now at this stage. Going, what kind of a man are you looking for?
Who do you think you're going to attract?
Yeah, exactly. Of course, you're going around looking in that show.
Jesus.
Do you know?
Yeah, I think that's how I know.
But no, I do know that no woman dressed like that when I was 21.
Oh, no.
Those things weren't just even available.
No,
I don't think that gear was available.
I tell you, the fucking Kardashians have a lot to answer for.
They fucking do, the dirty fuckers. Like, well, fair play to them in another sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, look, I mean, yeah, I'd love to be as ruthless as they are. You know what I mean?
What are they? What the fuck are they?
Fucking harbingers.
Do you think like the CIA or something has put them there just to fucking dumb down the nation, like, or something? Because there's no way they're real. Are they real people? Do you think?
I mean, shapeshifters of some sort, maybe.
Yeah, some David Icke level
fucking lizard people. Yeah. Chris Jenner fucking definitely has a dose of the lizard about it. Do you know what I mean? Scaly, snaky whore. Like.
What the fuck? I've only watched a handful of it, and I'll dip in and out like once a year or so. Go, still going. I see. Yeah, okay. I still don't know what the fuck or how the fuck you are a thing.
Like, I mean, I thought fucking, it's madness though. Like, and see, at least you were saying like, I've dipped into it and I've seen a couple. I know lads who 100% have watched it because their missus have it Sky Plus or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you say like fucking Kardashians who like, I fucking never even seen one of them fucking things. So I mean, look, I know you want Kim because it's saying that riding on the Pornhub. You know what I mean? But they're acting as if they've never watched an episode.
No, I have to see it to know that what the fuck, like.
Yeah.
Know your enemies. What I'm saying.
Well,
I need to know, but I understand. Like, I like watching, like, cooking programs and stuff. These are my dumb shit, like. And I won't be listening to even what your man's saying. I'll just be there gulping away the whole way through, looking like a dog looking through a fucking window at a cake, you know. And that's what I watch, cooking programs.
Yeah.
I'll never cook any of the fucking youngster talking about it or anything.
Jesus, no. But I'll happily see. Yeah,
I'd watch the Bake Off and stuff like that, like, you know what I mean?
The Bake Off's one of them that if I'm flicking through the channels and see it's on, like, that'll do, grand. But I tell you what I do, though. Do you know that fuck that's delicious? With your man, I can't remember his name.
Action Bronson.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
I love that fucker.
That is madness. Like, I love it. But you know what I mean?
And he's such a stoner as well. Like, yo. And he's just like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's deadly. Like.
It's like he seems to kind of, everybody, like when I watched the first couple of episodes, I'd heard of Action Bronson, but I didn't even know that was Action Bronson. I just came halfway through the show and went, it said, fuck, that's delicious. I went, yeah, okay, let's watch this.
Yeah.
But everybody he seemed to meet, whether it be in New Zealand or whatever, they all seem to know him really well. And I was going, how have I missed a trick here? How do I not know?
Yeah.
Because all these people know, but when did a small bit of fucking research on him, and then he's obviously a rapper.
You see, this is it, and I think this happened. This is what happened at North of 30. I think you lose.
This is happening more and more.
Yeah, because it was Oksana's brother who was like, Action Bronson. And I was like, he's Action Bronson. Oh, do you know what I mean? Because if I just, like what you were saying, very similar. I'd kind of heard the name, or whatever, but I wouldn't, like, if you would put 5 photos of people in front of me and said, which one of them is Action Bronson?
Yeah, I know.
I'd have 1 in 5 chance of getting it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, those cooking shows, man. I like Cake Boss as well. Did you watch Cake Boss?
I haven't watched him in a while now, alright, because the last couple I watched, and it was kind of. They're getting into a whole family dramatic side of things. I went, okay, I can back out of this now.
Oh, fuck no, right. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no, it was like, oh, God, right. You know, it was almost like how the Chopper program went. You remember?
Paulie Jr.
Yeah.
And Paulie C. What was that? American Chopper.
American Chopper, yeah. It was just about making fucking ridiculous motorbikes, and then all of a sudden it became a row one.
Yeah.
Like, I like your man, Richard Rawlins. And, you know.
Apparently he's a mad bastard. The Garage Monkey.
Yeah.
It's called.
I'd imagine he's Joe Rogan's going to have him on soon enough. Yeah.
Oh, listen to that one now. Yeah. Because he is apparently meant to be a fucking mad thing. Like,
I would imagine.
Fuck, like.
No. I suppose he is the embodiment of the American dream, isn't he? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Although I don't even know what the American dream is anymore.
No, who the fuck knows?
You know
like,
what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
You go over that side of the world now, you're into mad territory these days. Like, mad ages.
Listen to people like that come back like on the podcast and just going, living here. So, and even one of the lads now, Richie Hayes, he's the fucking boss man of the, he'd be the lead in the Panto, but he's living in Florida now, like, and he's just watching. He was just now he'd be obviously pay close attention because he's watching it in the dressing room the whole time, and he's just watching CNN or Fox with this mad fucker. Like, and you're going, oh my God, the parody that we're living in at the minute. Like,
that's it. It is a parody, and then the other side of it then is like. You know what I mean? Like you're saying CNN or Fox, and you're kind of like, fuck me. Like, I mean, if you're watching one, you're being told one story. You're watching another one, you're being told a different.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
The fucking truth lie is nowhere near either one of these ones, lads. So get a different fucking news because it's just insane. They're feeding this kind of. I'm going full Gordon Rochford now.
Oh yeah. Not a scratch.
Entirely feeding you.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, "Man, open up now. Here comes the airplane." And it's just spoon feeding this fucking train of here's what we want you to think.
Yeah.
And it's like frightening how much shit goes on. Like.
But the fact that they can split it just, okay, we're just going to have 2 teams. And that's all you're getting. You're just going to get 2 teams, Democrat or Republican, and that's all you're getting.
Yeah.
You're like, well, but
and every so often somebody else will be like, but I'm a libertarian. No, you're not getting anywhere near this shit, son. No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm a green. There's red and there's blue. There's no room for green.
Do you reckon Trump is just tongue in cheek at this? Because I've seen interviews from him from the 90s and stuff like that. Very sharp, smart, or has he lost his mind?
Yeah, like
Because
when
he seemed to come out. It wasn't even that far back. It was in the mid 2000s. He was on a panel show, breakfast panel show, and he was saying, "Look," and he sounded like he was like, "This is a very sharp man. Holy shit!" And then all of a sudden, he gets to like 2016, 2017. You're like, is that a man with dementia?
yeah, very much
Like,
so.
God bless him. Like, has he lost his fucking mind? Like,
Yeah.
he's gone. Like, he's stating these absolutely pointless and non-facts and going, "You can check it out." You're like, "No, you can."
Yeah.
Yes, you can check it out, and you'll find out it's completely false. You mad old cunt.
Yeah, he's got like I love I seen a video the other day. Somebody just basically took all the clips of Donald Trump saying, like, it doesn't matter what the subject is. He's like, you can ask anybody about border security. Nobody knows more about border security than I do. And then it's like,
God, yeah.
Nobody knows more about nukes than I do. Nobody knows more about tax than Donald Trump. Just any topic at all he's asked about, nobody knows more than Donald. And you are sitting there and you're like,
that sounds like a madman. Like.
Fuck,
a
man.
madman.
He either has like serious CTE or has fucking dementia, as you said. Like he's definitely. But then you kind of wonder, like, was it just his minders had better control of him back in the day?
Maybe.
Was he always this kind of just mental? Like his family, I mean, like Fred Trump was a mad bastard as well.
Yeah.
So like you're going to sit there and you're like, how much was it just his minders had a little bit more control of him and were able to prep him better? Whereas now. He's in the big chair now. Yeah. So in his head, it's like, you people can't tell me anymore. It's going to be my way. And he just fucking...
And that's what growing up of a life of never hearing the word no.
Yeah.
That's what happens probably.
100%, man, yeah.
Because we were watching it yesterday and it was like... he was talking... This one started bringing up about the fucking wall. He was saying, look, 1 minute you're saying you're going to build the wall out of concrete. Now you're saying you're going to build it out of steel. What's going on and how is it... And he's like, okay, it's obvious you don't know anything about construction. You're not into construction. And it's like, how is it obvious? How is it? He's like, steel, so much better than concrete. Like, what? How many miles of steel are you thinking of building? There isn't enough steel on the planet to go that far.
He's
you fucking lunatic.
He is a mad bastard, he is. And even at that, like, he'd need steel from China, which he seems to have a problem with. So, like, do you know what I mean? He's off the fucking walls. Like, what was it I seen there? Did you ever see his reaction to 9/11?
No.
Like the planes have literally hit the towers, and he goes on some morning breakfast show in New York.
No.
Oh, it's fucking like it's surreal in one sense. In the other sense, like looking at it now, kind of with the this is the future president of America talking.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
And like the planes have hit the towers, and he's like, oh, very sad, very sad. But I gotta say, Trump Tower is now the tallest building in America. We were the tallest building in the World Trade, but the World Trades have now come down, haven't they? So Trump Tower, tallest building in America once again.
Oh my fuck!
And you're sitting there, you're like, holy fuck! Like, I mean, you do not have to even have compassion to understand what is going on from the images that are blasting out the TV set. And his live reaction to this when he's asked about it is
his own building. Like.
Trump Tower, tallest building in the world, baby. Like, what the fuck?
Holy Jesus, I've never seen that.
Yeah, he's a fucking baller.
Okay,
but,
you fucking absolute fucking lunatic. To watch that and go, well, I can see the positives there.
Exactly, yeah. Tourist money. Woohoo. He's just...
What the fuck?
He's a fucking looper.
Jesus, do you know what? I mean, with the eclectic mix of fucking people you get on the podcast, you could have him at some stage if he's still alive. Like, but
well, yeah, we'd probably be talking to him from a fucking prison cell somewhere. Do you know what I mean? But like,
how do you go about picking your guests then? Like, you have keep in mind in case because there's probably a strong Venn diagram.
Yeah, there's
you know what I mean. Of people
yeah.
that listen to like you, yourself and Mero, myself, probably fucking Colin Geddes in the north, Gordo and stuff like that, and the Up to 90 girls and everything else. But how do you because your guests are brilliantly eclectic, from Geroge Foreman to like Paul Howard.
Yeah, brute force and ignorance, I suppose.
Is it?
Yeah, literally, because what'll often happen is I'll have watched something or Mero will have watched something.
Right.
Usually me, because I'm the brains. And and we'll be WhatsApping each other and be like, "John will be deadly." And we'll just say a name, and then I'll just be like, "Just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? They either ignore us or say no."
Yeah,
that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, true, yeah.
And like anybody who, if they're doing a podcast and they listen to this, or anybody's ever wanted to do it or anything like that, don't, you're a mad bastard if you do. But like at the same time, it's also like, don't ever be intimidated by a name, because never underestimate people's want for their voice to be heard. And that's literally what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, like, like Geroge Foreman. Like, I mean,
Geroge fucking Foreman.
We literally just chanced our arm. Seeing he was on Twitter, seeing he was tweeting at the time, and I said, fuck it, we'll drop him a tweet and see what happens.
Yeah.
So we did, and he just replied saying, I'd love to. And that was it.
Right.
Just, I'd love to. So I was like, fuck, right. So then I done a little bit more digging, screen grabbed the tweet, sent it to his management company, which happens to be run by his son.
Right.
George Foy, because all his kids
call
George.
Yeah, I mean? That's amazing.
Which confused me at first, because I didn't know which fucking George I was talking to in the emails.
To Grill.
Yeah. So I fucking sent off the email, and he was like, yeah, Brent, we'll set it up, blah, blah, blah. Weeks went by, didn't hear that, and weeks went by, didn't hear that. And then he actually popped up on another Irish podcast, obviously Fight Talk, with Rob Hale and Noel O'Keefe. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, the two boys just fucking stolen our thunder here. What the fuck happened? But obviously they didn't. It was just pure coincidence, you know what I mean? And like, as far as George Five or whoever the fuck you're talking to was, you know, he was like, Irish podcaster. Yeah, these guys, yeah. So, do you know what I mean? So then, but then, as it happened, just came full circle a couple months later. I said, fuck it, I'm going to go back again and see, like. And boom, he's like, oh yeah, cool, no bother at all, yeah. So, yeah, like, we got 20 minutes with him, which was still fucking deadly, you know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, we've had Foreman, we've had Wayne McCullough, Paul Howard, as you said. Fuck, I can't even remember some of the people, because I mean, like that, you know what I mean? Like, we literally just send out a tweet or send out an email or touch base somehow.
Yeah.
It's just getting that initial point of contact, you know what I mean? And then from there, they'll either say, like, no, they'll ignore you, and if they ignore you, it just gives you more reason to get in touch again, like.
Of course, yeah.
Just following up on a little question we had there before, you know? But, like, some of them, yeah, and I wouldn't mind, like, some of the fucking best ones we've had are the ones that I was expecting absolutely nothing from.
Really?
Yeah, like, I mean, there was, your man's
like one.
Yeah. But you know what it is? Right?
Nothing from that Tom fucker.
It was pure filler. But, like, some of them are, like, because, like, there's ones that you get that, like we have lads on from, like you were saying earlier about kind of the whole Ballybrack thing.
Yeah.
From here. So we've just had lads from the Brack on, like.
Right.
But because they're a bit of a character, and they're not talking about, you know, winning gold medals at the Olympics, or because they're not talking about being a best-selling author or a movie star, they're just talking about, I was in Tesco, blah, 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 and you know what I mean? People are going, fucking hell, yeah, I hate when that happens, and they'll react to it, and then you're just like, yeah, deadly, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing with even this one, is people that I find interesting. I haven't gone, what credentials do they have, and will they get me more listeners? Yeah. I don't know if they will, nor will they care, because you know what I mean. I've given up a long time ago trying to fucking figure out the world on popularity.
Fuck that, like.
So if I find somebody interesting, I go, well, I'll be able to easily talk to that lad for an hour, not a bother.
And that's it, and that's the beauty of it as well. Like, I mean, like, yeah, you know, Merdo will go out there and tell people it's all about the people who listen and all that. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's literally like I'm being selfish, and I'm like, I get to talk to him.
Yeah.
I get to talk to her. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because of that, we've got to talk to people. Never, ever, ever in a fucking right-minded state should we have got to talk to these people. But here we go, you know what I mean? Fucking 170 episodes later.
It's 170, is it?
170 fucking episodes. Yeah, we're going nearly 4 years, like, which is bananas, like.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, but I was podcasting, and I suppose it's kind of in rude health at the minute, isn't it? Like, it's coming on in leaps and bounds, like.
If that now, the problem is that fucking everybody has one.
I suppose, but you know what? I mean,
But in another sense, that's great, like.
I think it's a more the merrier, really, because, I mean, look, will people stick with it? Will they won't? Who knows? But, like, still, to this day, like, the amount of people I meet who don't know what a podcast even is.
Yeah.
So once we get to peak, everybody knows what a podcast is, then we can start slowing down on podcasts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think, look, for every person who starts a podcast, if they bring one fucking set of ears, and then, you know, that person says, oh fuck, I've done 5 episodes and only 3 people are listening, fuck this, like, you know what I mean, and they get out of it. But if those ears that they've brought go, oh fuck me, podcast, I'm gonna find a new podcast, and they land on your podcast, or they land on their pod, happy days. They brought somebody else to the party.
They probably will anyway, because who listens to just one podcast? Like,
well, that's it. Once you get into one, you kind of go, I'm gonna find another one. I'm gonna find another one.
Fuck the radio.
But that's it, because now on the commute, like, I'm fucking in the car like 3-4 hours a day now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck this, am I listening to the same bullshit song? And this is why I don't know who people like Action Bronson are, because I don't listen to.
And that was a big thing during during the Panto, like, because a lot of them, the youth, we'll call them, like, they were just going, and oh my god, have you heard the? I'm like, I haven't heard of.
Yeah, no.
There isn't one song any of you have ever said in the last month that I know.
Yeah.
I'm so lost.
My missus is mad for this Cardi B one. And I didn't know what or who a Cardi B was, like, and I was like, what the fuck?
It was somebody had it up on Facebook that she was on with Dermot and Dave, Cardi B, and all I saw was, did she just change her name from Bacardi?
Yeah.
That's all that came to my mind. And I said this came up during again, with all the youthful people of the Panto. I was like, they were like, oh my god, Cardi B. And I went, did she just take her name from Bacardi? And it was like, I was the alien for pointing out that. They were like, that's possible. But why would you think that? I was like, but that's the first thing that came to my mind.
How very dare you, sir?
How very dare you? Like, almost like, how dare you make us think about shit? Because God bless him, you know what I mean?
Listen.
You know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready to wrap my head around. But I take great pleasure in the fact that I don't know any of that shit now.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful now. Like,
but I've always kind of been this way. Now my age is just starting to match up with what my attitude is.
Which is beautiful as well.
Yeah, it's great, cardigans and stuff like that.
Oh, stop, man. I am at the point now where I'm in a job where, you know, I should be wearing probably, you know, slacks and shorts and that, but I'm like, oh, fuck this, hoodie and jeans.
Great.
And it's just got to the point where there's an acceptance there.
Oh, nobody's pulling Danny on this. Like.
No, I'm part of the furniture now in there, which is great. And I've moved apartment recently, and the two boys that I work with are just there, the fucking coolest cucumbers going. Like, they're great, you know what I mean? So I think it's just kind of like, Danny does a shit, leave him be.
Great.
And you know what I mean? So
that's a great way to be.
And I'm at that point then where that's very much extended into just, you know, outside life as well, where I'm kind of like, what am I doing? Going to Tesco? Shorts and flip flops. I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, I couldn't give a fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's none of this kind of like, I will wear a suit for a wedding or a funeral. Yeah, that's
why suffer? Why suffer?
Exactly.
Yeah, why suffer? Do what you want to be doing. Like,
nobody enjoys wearing suits,
and that's. I mean, it's indicative with me too, and like that, and like you with when it's come to your podcast, I'm not going to go after people that I think people want to hear.
No,
because I can't do that in my life anymore. Where I actually want to be, I just want to do stuff I want to do.
Yeah, I'm not going ambulance chasing. I'm not doing that shit. No, it's just. And that's part of it as well. Like, there was maybe an insecurity with myself and Mero for a good while where we felt like, fuck, we better have a guest. We have to have a guest. People don't want to just listen to us. And rightfully so. Why the fuck would they want to just listen to me and Mero sitting there being like, so this week in Ballybrack? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, but people can do it.
I was going to say, but as time has gone on, I said we're doing it like fucking 4 years now. So like, as time has gone on, we've got more comfortable with just filling an hour and a half ourselves. But also, it's kind of like, you know, we noticed, shit, the numbers where it's just me and Mero are more or less the same as well. So people
the Ramble Pod for me is almost the same. Yeah. No matter who I've had on, it's almost the same. The Ramble Pod people go,
and it's fucking beautiful, isn't it?
And it's just me. Like, at least there's some logic to ye. There's just two blokes talking. It's just me talking to myself like a fucking lunatic.
The beauty of your Ramble Pod is just that it is just you on fucking little tangents and little rambles, and there is this inherent beauty of that. I just love people just telling fucking stories, and people just, do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody can hold my attention for 5 minutes by just saying, you know, I was down the pub and there's this fucking fella, right? Yeah. And I'm in, grand. Tell me the rest of that story. If it goes nowhere, so what? I've heard a story. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. And I think that's maybe why fucking the whole stand-up comedy thing fucking happened as well for a while. Because
probably, yeah.
You're just around other people who are just like, come here till I tell you.
Yeah.
And when something starts with that, you're like, I'm in, let's go.
Or the best one, if you're sitting at a car full of comedians, the one like, do you know who's a cunt? Lads. Now tell me I'm wrong, but you know who's a cunt? And
yeah. Or the lads who are like, I mean, it's a long time since I was fucking involved in any of this shit, but I'll never forget the kind of boys who are, I was green, but even lads who were greener, and they'd be like, do you know, we're like, yeah. What do you think of them?
Oh.
Like, that is a loaded question.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
What do you think of? Oh yeah, that lad. Yeah.
Which is essentially, what do you think of him? In other words, if our thought processes line up, then you can be in my gang. It's a weird way of going about it, like, rather than actually just talking around the fucking situation.
It's kind of like, you've offered me a lift, so I wonder if we like the same people. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And comedy, I don't know what it's like now. I'm not gigging at all, but I mean, like, click-wise back in the day was fucking fierce.
I don't know if it's clicky as... Listen, it possibly is, but then, like, I suppose you see, when you're going at it as long as, like, I'm headliner mostly now.
Yeah,
So
you're out of the maddening crowd.
So you're kind of just rock up and go, hey, what's happening? Yeah. Oh, I'm out. Great, I'm on. Grand.
Yeah.
Hey, love Patrick, shake your handies. I'm out the fucking gap. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So, that's typically the way it is. Like, but it's, I don't know, and I never really got in with any, you see, kind of clicks form, you see, as a direct result of people being kind of bags of shite. Do you know? And what you'll find then is little microcosms and echo chambers form. And then they'll find their own little pocket of a place that they'll play all the time. They'll tell each other, you're class. And then you never progress.
100%.
You never progress.
But
you can't fucking progress. Like, you know.
Yeah, and I think that definitely was going. Certainly in the Dublin fucking scene.
Ah, it happens all over.
Oh my Jesus.
It happens all over. And you're just slapping each other on the back because you won't get the fuck out and actually gig in other places.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, for me even, it was probably just people were looking going, I don't know what to make of that cunt. Because he's just coming in going, it's crack. That's the crack. That's the crack. I do this. Okay, cool.
Done. Yeah.
Do it and just get the fuck out of there. Like,
see, that's it. But they're the fucker. Like people who have that mindset. That I'd be more inclined to be like, he's gold. He's not here for the bullshit. He's here to do his bit and fuck off and do another 7 minutes or 10 minutes somewhere else and build the fucking craft. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, did you just like if you could take from anybody the likes of Rory O'Hanlon, like just Jesus Christ. Now, I mean, Rory's, I don't know how has the energy. I remember it was that time I was in London. We were walking down into we went for this. Another day we met up and we went for a lovely fucking lunch on the Thames. It was a cool kind of funky area that we were sitting in, and it was like fucking lunchtime. And he says, right, anyway, I must head off to a gig. I said, you gig at midday? He goes, well, Aberdeen.
6-hour train.
Fucking what? He went, yeah. I just, are you around tomorrow? I'm gigging in London tomorrow. I was like, would you not try? Oh, yes, I'm gigging. Yes, great. I was just fair fox, like, you know what I mean?
Relentless, like.
Relentless, like.
But I suppose when you're chasing the game like that, you kind of.
But then doesn't put in or out with nobody, like, just rocks up. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does the gig, gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And keeps it handy, like.
Yeah, he's some fucking boy out, like. Jesus.
So do you know what? We basically stick an old fork in it. Where can if there isn't anybody from the crossover Venn diagram of our two podcasts, and we've already had I suppose you're the brains, Mira's the.
He's the face.
He's the face, really. He's like, the baby face, like, of the whole thing. We've had him on.
I'm under no illusions. Graham is definitely great for pushing out there and getting people fucking to come to the podcast in terms of, like...
Well, by publicly getting himself thrown around in fucking... At concerts.
Damien Dempsey, yeah.
At Damien Dempsey's.
And that's another reason I wouldn't get fucking tickets to a concert, because if I ended up there and that fucker's being crowd-surfed... I had to lift him at a wedding once. My back wasn't right for months.
He's full of fucking muscle, the bastard. You see those arms on him? Holy fuck. I know.
He goes around telling people he's 60 kg. He isn't a shite.
Why'd you fuck off at yourself?
60 kg.
The beard alone is a fucking...
I know, so that thing's fucking made of gold. We had a guest on there. We're doing more and more podcasts through Skype just because I'm not fucking travelling up there much and that kind of thing. And Mero forgot it was video.
I saw it! He's combing he's got a little comb for his beard.
Yeah, actually, it was another fuck, Alan Bollocks, his name's gone from my head completely now.
Porter. There's a guess for you now. How is chickens?
No thanks. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, he's just mid-sentence, he's waffling away. And Mero out of nowhere just takes out a comb and
starts brushing his beard.
And I'm like, he doesn't, either he doesn't know or else he just doesn't give a shit.
But he looks so, like he looked like a lovely lady brushing her hair. You know, like...
You're one from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
So
do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my, like really getting into this. Yeah. It was, and then he copped himself at the last minute. It's an amazing bit. Like,
it was fucking.
Did you put it up or did he put it up?
I put it up, yeah, because like I wasn't going. I was like, I just know, fuck it, I'm selling him down the river with this. Yeah. Like, because he's going for a good 20 seconds, and I'm like, sorry, Al, I just have to cut you off there, Mero. You know you're on camera, and it's literally just like say, Al, I have to cut you off there. He goes, oh. And you can actually see, like, his face just
it's like your man getting caught on RT News the time when he was doing his makeup, like, huh?
Yeah,
huh?
Angus, yeah.
Angus
O'Schnodig. But, yeah, so Mero was the face and the man that brings the popularity to the podcast, and I'm the button pusher in the background, very much so, yeah.
To the WTS lads, and where... yeah, just in case anybody isn't following, I'll put all the links anyway to all in the description of this.
Yeah, but yeah, look, wherever you get a podcast, just WTSPod.
Yeah, you will find the boys. Exactly.
Yeah.
You will find the fucking boys.
Or if not, we'll find you. We're that way inclined, like. So.
Do you know what,
Oh,
Danjo
man.
Murray? It's been fucking lovely. My brain needed a soft touch after fucking what I've been doing for the last fucking 5 weeks. And I said, you know what? This is a lovely fucking comforting way we'll talk a bit about rugby. Ridiculous fucking lack of knowledge on other things.
Oh, absolutely.
And just fucking waffle through for a fucking hour. And this has been a lovely, lovely, enjoyable
I've,
podcast.
I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed it. And I've listened to many a podcast, but I have to say, there's something about a raw, Tipperary mad fucker that just brings a certain beauty to the airwaves. So, fair folks to you, man. Thanks, man, for having me on. But genuinely, fair folks,
loose.
Buckshot's a little beaut, like, so fair play to you. Like.
Thanks a million for being on, dude.
No, man, happy to do it.
Great. Good luck.
Well, wasn't that just a lovely bit of soothing chat for your ears? Thank you very much to Danny Murray. What a powerful beast of a man. Go check out their podcast. It's just lovely listening as well between the two lads. WTS podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe if it's your first time listening. We're on whatever platform you're on. Be sure to, if you like Spotify, we're also over on that and all the rest of it. If you want to follow me on any social platforms for the page, just Buckshot Pod on Twitter. But me, it's Tom O'Mahony Comedy. Will find on every other platform except Chatty Snaps, which is Tom Bear O'Mahony. If you want to shoot me a long form email, go straight through the website to the contact page, or buckshotpodcast@gmail.com will catch me. For all the rest of it, give out if you do fancy it, give Patreon an old gander. If you want some of that back catalogue, like I said, I'll be sticking up one of the Tom and Jerry shows today just to give you a little taster of what's involved if you do sign up. For now, go on away, have a smashing weekend, and I'll chat to you again on Tuesday.